Alright, so hey guys, post-holidays, first video after the holidays. I still have a bunch still to put up on YouTube, but I wanted to make this one real quick because it's a short one and it was pretty successful. I don't know if you're familiar with these electronic calendars or e-calendars. They're sort of a little bit of a gimmick for families and kids where they have chores and things to do, and it has like a calendar with points and scoring systems and stuff like that. But technology for technology's sake, I decided to buy off on one. This is the Cozyla 2 Plus in the 32-inch version. So as you can see right here, it's just showing a clock and my schedule for today. If we had events and tasks, that would show up. Not that big a deal, not that impressive for an adult, but I do like that it does remind me things like put out the trash on Sunday night or the other day, which is Wednesday night, you know. So, but it's also, it's a tablet. It's an Android tablet, so I can pull up some of my favorite apps like the Fox 4 weather app here in Dallas. So that gives me, obviously I get the radar, I can get the temperature for the afternoon and the evening, that kind of thing, just like any other, app on your phone or app, running on your tablet. But of course it's much bigger, and so if you can look at the hourly, and kind of check out the temperatures through the day and whatnot. So I kind of enjoy that, and of course it's a big touch screen, so it's a lot of fun. But I've also got on here our garage door controllers, the gate opener, our security cam system. All that is actually right here. But that's not really what I wanted to talk to you guys about. What I wanted to talk to you about is when you see this in the advertisements, right? They'll show it and it'll be sort of like flush mounted up against the wall. And I'll show you why mine isn't flush mounted. I mean, it'll be, maybe a ½ inch to an inch off the wall. With the brackets that it comes with two brackets. One bracket just permanently, statically mounts it to the wall, and the other bracket actually gives it the ability to rotate. So you can rotate it, and then the screen will auto-rotate depending on the app that you're running. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it turns sideways. So here's like back to the Fox 4 weather app is one that doesn't auto-rotate. I'm not sure what's up with that. There is another weather app that is built into the system that it comes with. So if you like it in this format, you can look for the Weather Network, and that one is very similar. Actually gives you some different details, but long story short, and I apologize for the dog whining, it's really, really quite nice. But anyway, so I really like the fact that it can rotate. But what I wanted to do, in our kitchen here, it sort of sweeps around this way, right? So it's off camera, but that's where the stove is and most of the counter space where we do most of our preparations and stuff, and the refrigerator's over there. So if you're using this to like do recipes or something along those lines, what I like about a very inexpensive bracket that I got from Harbor Freight, literally $6.99, gives me the ability to rotate it out. And as you rotate it out, I can actually bring it all the way forward here, and I could go technically all the way around. If I move the fire extinguisher, I can go all the way around the corner of the wall. Let me show it to you from the back side with this camera. I actually, it comes in black, but I sort of painted it as close as I could to match the wall. It didn't want to take too well to latex paint, so I used a Rust-Oleum spray can that was pretty close. So what I've done is behind this plate right here is the rotating mount that comes from Cozyla. You can see the 4 screws inside there, I hope, that hold it to the unit. Then what I did was I used the Harbor Freight mount that's here, and this has to obviously be bolted into studs. I'm kind of fortunate in that this is sort of a vaulted ceiling area with a wide opening, so I have multiple studs in here to carry the load of the sort of the opening in the wall. So just used 4 little bolts right here to bolt this plate to the Cozyla plate. I did have to drill holes in the Harbor Freight plate to line up and make sure that it would, you know, that we could use existing bolt holes, because it didn't use what's it called? You know, the different compliant mounting structures that you'll find on the back of like a normal television. Although this is considered a 32-inch tablet, it's really not the same dimensions as a 32-inch TV. You'll notice it's much more, it's much longer in this dimension than it is this way. So it's, you know, more like a tablet would be, as opposed to a television. So anyway, hopefully that made sense. The only other thing I can say is, you know, make sure you do get it into the studs in the wall. I did add an outlet here. It was pretty easy because I have these 2 switch plates right here, so I didn't have to fish wire too far to get a little power. The power brick is a little bit large, and so if you just use that mount from Cozyla, if you try to hide that AC adapter behind the actual display screen, you're going to have an issue. And then next, after this, my next plan is to maybe do some LEDs. You know how sometimes people have those halo lights around their television. I'm going to try and do that just to make it pop a little bit more at night and in the evenings. So that's my experience with the Cozyla calendar. Again, I don't use it that much for the calendar piece, but it is kind of a cool thing on the wall, and it helps, you know, helps you remember to do things, which I need all the help I can get. So see you on the next one.